What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Footy Gents podcast. So today we are going to be going through our Ballon d'Or rankings, all right? So what we did is basically me, Amirali, Parham, and Sultan, we each had our own lists. We did it based off of a point system. So let's say Amirali had Vinicius for number 1, he would then get 10 points. And let's say he had Kane for number 10, Kane will get 1 point. Number 1 would be the one that ends up having the overall highest points, and then all the way down. So the last number 10 would be the player that would have the least average of points based off of our 4 compiled lists together. But in total, boys, we have 13 names on the list. So we are going to have a top 10, but then we are going to have 3 honorable mentions as well, okay? Before we get into discussing exactly the list that we made and everything like that, I just wanted to briefly discuss the Ballon d'Or with you guys, just get your opinions on it. Are you guys fans of the Ballon d'Or? Do you think it really matters? Does it not matter?
That's exactly what I was going to get into. The question I'm going to ask you guys is, do you guys care about the Ballon d'Or? And the reason I ask that is because when you look at the last 10, 15 years, the Ballon d'Or has been used, the GOAT debate for Messi, Ronaldo, and because they've been winning it. Now, I don't know. For me, it's a little bit died down a little bit, and that might be because my players, United fan, they're not really in the topic in the conversation. So, of course, if your player's in there, you're always going to be interested. You're always going to watch and support, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys care about the Ballon d'Or? That's the question, I guess.
Arsenal players are not even close in the Ballon d'Or, so not even gonna mention anything there. But you're right. It was good for the GOAT debate. I think when there was Ronaldo and Messi going at it, they were 2 competitors that they always had a reason to be up there and to be challenging for it. Lately, it feels like it's gotten more political. There's just been more controversial picks. Like Modric, you can argue that he should have gotten it, but a lot of people could argue that he shouldn't have gotten it. Lewandowski should have gotten one. I think it was during the COVID year, so that was unfortunate. But
canceled,
got canceled, which is kind of bullshit, and he deserves it. So I don't know. It's just there's been more of an argument that it's just more about politics, and I think now Messi getting the last one, that was also controversial too. I understand why he got the last one, but it's tough to say. I don't know. It's fun to discuss this though, so I do enjoy that.
Yeah, being a Barca fan and a Messi fan, the Ballon d'Or has treated me kindly overall. I think the Ballon d'Or started to have a big reputation during that GOAT debate. Before that, I don't feel like it was such a big award. I could be wrong, obviously, but every year you were just waiting to see which one of the 2 would win it, right? I do enjoy the Ballon d'Or. Overall, I feel like it's not such a big deal overall in the football community. If a player gets it, obviously he's hyped, but if you would probably ask them, would you rather win, I don't know, a Champions League or a Ballon d'Or, I think majority of them would rather win a prestigious cup with their teams rather than the Ballon d'Or. I like the debates about it. I'll be honest with you. Overall, I just like the debates about it, but it is a little bit political at times. I do feel that. It is what it is.
There's huge favoritism for the Madrid and Barcelona players. Literally players go to these clubs just to get a chance at the Ballon d'Or. I'm pretty sure that's why Jude even went there in the first place. I might go Henry, bro. What was it? 03? Pavel Nedved
he was robbed.
Won over him, and that's crazy, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was that year or maybe it was the year after that they went unbeaten, but he was killing it. Yeah, it was 03-04 we went unbeaten, so 03 I think lost it, but he was still killing it. He was one of the best, and I just think more of an impactful player, and it's just there's been some controversial years at times. So but I guess that's fun for discussion.
Henry hasn't won it, and some of the players we're going to discuss today, they're not even on levels with Henry. And a lot of other players who haven't won it. But I just use Henry as probably one of the best players to have not won it,
But that's the thing with the Ballon d'Or as well. We use them in our arguments, but a big factor plays into when you were that specific player, when they were born, through what era. Because players that were playing through the Messi and Ronaldo era, a lot a Suarez and Neymar or whatever, a lot of them, if they didn't play through that specific era, they would probably have a Ballon d'Or, realistically.
100%.
So you have to put a lot of context into your arguments when you're discussing the Ballon d'Or, because I feel like it's not just white and black. It's very gray area as well. This year, it's probably the first time where there's no main guy that's gonna win it. It's kind of all over the place. Anyone could win it. There's 3 or 4 people that have a good chance of winning it.
Yeah.
Where before, it was literally just like the two.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so like I said, we have 13 names in total that we generated amongst us. Sultan is one of the people that sent over his list, but he could not make it with us today, unfortunately. In joint 12th, we have Bukayo Saka and and Nico Williams with 1 point each. You probably can guess who had Saka. The Arsenal fan himself, Farham, had
Come
Saka
on,
at
yo.
10th.
Yes.
I had Nico Williams as 10th.
I understand I'm snubbing quite a few names out here. Like obviously we didn't win anything, so like that kind of makes it difficult to argue this one.
Say it again.
We didn't win anything, all right? And like that's just it's been a long just a long story with like Arsenal, and it kind of gets frustrating. But I do want to put him up there because I do think they deserve recognition. Like they are coming up against the best team in the world, arguably. So going into that and being 2 points off, he ended up scoring like 16 goals, 9 assists in less games than he played in the previous season, 35 games. So he's getting worn out quite a bit, and he's still managing to produce at such a young age. You know, he's on the rise. He's my boy. He's my star boy. I'm gonna put him in here just because. Why the F not? And, that's pretty much, my pick there. But yeah, that's why.
I'm literally just going over this right now. Actually, Saka was the only one on 1 point. Nico, I apparently placed Nico 9th. So he is 2 points. He's joint 11th with another player that I will let you know in a second. But yeah, I had Nico as 9th. The reason that I had him at 9th, honestly, like I feel like his season was a little bit underrated just because he plays for Bilbao. He had 8 goals, 19 assists. He won the Copa del Rey with Bilbao. He was the top assister in the Copa del Rey. They hadn't won a trophy, I believe, in like 40-something years as well. So like it was a big thing for them over there. With the Euros as well, he just had an amazing tournament. One of the best players for Spain. Me personally, like we're going to go through my list as well, but I put a big emphasis on the international stage, international competitions. So whenever there's a Euros or a Copa America, I guess, as well, and especially the World Cup, how they do during that tournament, it plays a big factor into where I place them. So Nico, I think he had an underrated season overall, and that's why I had him 9.
No, he deserves it. Winning the Euros and scoring. I'm pretty sure he scored like the winning. No, he scored the first goal for Spain.
He scored the
First goal, yeah.
So, dude, he had a great run. Deserves it.
All right, so like I said, so Saka was 12th with 1 point, and then Nico was joint 11th with 2 points with Harry Kane. Harry Kane only managed to get 2 points, and I will let you know right now where he got those 2 points from. Amorali had him at 10th, and Sultan had him at 10th as well.
Don't get me wrong, like I'm not a Kane fan like that. He's fine, but serial loser from Tottenham. Let's put it that way. But no, I mean, banter aside, I mean, the guy had, I think, I have my stats here, 52 goals, 14 assists, I think, all season. That's just crazy, for his first season. He is in his prime, it's expected of him, obviously, but I had to put him at 10. Just the numbers, they speak for themselves. He's not just a goal scorer, he's a creator, and they probably will win the Bundesliga this year, I guess.
Did he win the Golden Boot this year?
Yeah.
I think he was top goal scorer, right?
He must have. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, for sure. So like
scoring like every other game.
Yeah, he had an amazing season, bro. It's just like I feel like if he had won a trophy, like he didn't win anything, he would have been higher.
Even if he won the Bundesliga, would that even
probably, bro? Because he's winning like a little bit. He's doing what he can. Like even in the UCL, where did Bayern did it quarters or semis?
They went to semis.
Semis, yeah.
Semis, Bundesliga, and then England, the final. Like he didn't have the best tournament, but he did score 2 goals. I think it was.
Yeah, he had a solid season. I mean.
Yeah, so I feel like if he won a trophy with Bayern, I would have like probably put him
pushed
higher.
him up. Me too.
Yeah, but yeah.
Ain't no way I'm putting Kane in my list, bro.
I
don't care how good he is.
The North London Derby.
Gotta respect.
I'm dead. Okay. Alrighty then. So we have here Foden came in 10th for us. So Foden finished with 9 points. So I had him at 10th. Amorali had him at 8.
Yep.
Parham had him at 8. And Sultan had him at 9th.
Yeah, man. I mean, Foden had a forgettable Euros, to be fair. I mean, I don't think he got used the way he should have. He was a great focal point in the Champions League. 19 goals, 8 assists in 35 games, becoming more and more of an important factor in like this Man City team, which is arguably one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world. He's going to keep going up, but for this year, I think he killed it based on his position, the team that he's in. I'm gonna go with that pretty much.
Not fair, yeah. And he won Player of the Year, right?
He did.
In the
Yeah,
Premier
yeah,
League
yeah.
as well. So yeah, he had a great season. Again, like I said, internationally, England, a lot of high expectations. He probably was the player that disappointed the most, in my opinion, from like the big names in England. Southgate is gone now, so it's going to be interesting to see what the next manager does with that team. If he had a good international campaign as well, he would probably be higher.
For
So
sure, for sure. I think if they won the Euros, he'd
Yeah.
definitely be a couple spots up. Yeah, for sure. But
yeah.
yeah,
No.
still.
Alrighty, number 9, we have the generational wonder kid himself, Lamine Yamal, with 10 points. He finished number 9. So Sultan did not have Lamine, with what I see here.
Wow, dude. I mean,
Madrid bias.
I understand.
Parham had him at 4th. Yeah. Amirali did not have him, and then I had
And
him.
one.
I had him at 8th. No, I had him at 8th actually. Parham,
Wow.
surprisingly, had
Yo,
had Lamine Yamal at 4th, and I had him at 8th.
yo, like, okay, I was looking at the stats and all that, and if you're gonna go based off stats, yeah, bro, I'm kind of snubbing some mans out here. Like, I'm putting him above a lot of like big names that performed like crazy, but I don't know. There's something about him being 16. Doing what he did in the Euros is just huge. Like, if like Messi can go out and like kill it in the World Cup and get a Ballon d'Or, then I don't see why like he shouldn't be higher up on the list, given that he was like just such an integral part of the team at such a young age and just came through with one of the like best goals in the tournament in a crucial point during the season. 5 goals, 5 assists doesn't really tell like the whole story. I don't think I made this pick based off of potential, tremendous potential, but also like his Euro campaign was crazy too. So that's why I put him up there.
All right, Amirali, why didn't you have him in your list at all?
Why didn't I have him? I mean, Parham kind of touched up on it. When you look at some of the other guys I had, the stats, I mean, they speak for themselves. I mean, no, listen, it's a bit of a recent, well, I don't want to say the word, but it's a little bit of a recency bias. I mean, I don't know what kind of season he had in terms of stats at Barcelona, but he did have obviously an amazing Euro, so that kind of makes the impact. And fair enough. I mean, if you win in the Euros, show up on the international stage, you should get the credit for it. So I don't disagree with that. But 4th, I don't know, man. 4th is a little too high. Maybe I would have had him in my top 10 looking at it, but I'm still happy with the top 10 I've got. He would have maybe been 11th, just following the guys I had. Next year, there's always next to the guy's 17.
He's probably gonna win one of these. In 10 years, he'll be 26. 27, sorry.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
He'll probably win the Golden Boy, right? Is that the word? Like for the
he's winning that. Yeah. But yeah, I had him at 8th as well. In case anyone calls me a delusional Barca fan, 8th. I think that's pretty realistic. Like, he had over 20 goals and assists for Spain and Barca together as a 16-year-old young player of the tournament at the Euros. He broke a bunch of records at the Euros and with Barca as well. Most goal involvements in the Euros at 16, bro. He had 4 assists and 1 goal, I believe. And then even in the Champions League, like, if it wasn't for that red card against PSG, he literally assisted that game. Against Napoli as well, he was amazing. So if we've progressed further into the UCL as well, I feel like a lot of people would have known his name even prior to the Euros. But yeah, I think 8th is pretty realistic for the season that he had at just 16. We are now moving into 8th place. And in 8th place, with 11 points, we have Florian Wirtz. Sultan had him at 8th. Okay. Parham had him at 7th. Amirali, I'm going through yours again. You did not have him.
I didn't have him in my top 10, no.
That's why.
You
did. No.
He had
At all?
season, I'm not going to lie. But, like, what was his stats? I mean, like...
11 goals, 11 assists. Bundesliga.
I mean,
4 goals, 4 assists,
11
Europa.
goals, 11... Man,
Yeah.
I've got players with, like, 45 goals and 35 goals. Like...
Went undefeated and won the double. And went to the final of the Europa. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
come on.
Went undefeated in the Bundesliga, won the German Cup, went into the Europa League final, had a great tournament in the Euros as well. That goal against Spain in the last few minutes or something like that kept them alive for extra time. 18 goals and 20 assists in all competitions with Leverkusen. So that is almost 40 goals and assists just with Leverkusen.
I mean...
You still wouldn't have him in your top 10?
Explain yourself.
Which position did you guys put him at? So I can like kind of.
I put him at 7.
7.
I put him at 7th as well. Yeah.
Well, 7 I had like Haaland. I can put a case for Haaland. He gets a Haaland gets a lot of
Bro, I just swept through Holland because I couldn't even believe it. Yeah, Holland ended with 1 point as well. I'm just taking a
Oh,
look at
wow.
that. I read it. I was going through his. I'm like, what the hell is this brother doing here? And then I just completely forgot. So why did you have Holland
45. Dude, I mean, it was his second season. A lot of people like compare it to his previous season. He didn't win the treble and he didn't have maybe the impact of the wow factor of his first season. This guy still finished top scorer, right? Was this the top scorer? I think so. At 45 goals, 6 assists. He won the Club World Cup, UEFA Super Cup, Premier League. I mean, come on, man. Maybe I have him too high. I don't know, but
I
yeah,
don't
I
think he
think
was top 3 City players this year, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
the
I think
thing.
he's just on a really good team.
Yeah, Foden and Rodri are up there, and then you
Yeah.
can debate the third, like who was most. Maybe it could have been Holland, I guess, but
It just feels like Holland, like if he's not in the team, they're okay. Which is like, you can't say that
Yeah.
for some of the other players, like Rodri, for example.
I mean, hey, odds wise, Haaland still is in top 10. I'm looking at it.
So yeah, Verts finished at 8th. 7th with 12 points, we have Kylian Mbappe. For Sultan, he was 6th. 6th for Parham as well. And then for Amirali, he was 9th.
Yeah.
I did not have Kylian Mbappe in my list, unfortunately.
That's wild.
Uh,
No, that's crazy.
Crazy, bro. Can I say
can-
that?
I can-
top scorer of everybody on my list.
That's crazy.
I can
crazy.
explain mine.
Please.
Listen, like I said, I felt like I had to give a little bit of attention to Nico just because I think he had an underrated season. So he took up one spot. And then the last one was literally for me between Foden and Mbappe. It was so close. The only reason why I probably didn't have Mbappe there is I don't think he had a good Euros. Personally, well, not personally. He himself said I had a trash Euros, and then I have here 44 goals, 10 assists with PSG. He won the Ligue 1, he won the Coupe de France, the French Super Cup as well, and he was the top goal scorer in Ligue 1, in Coupe de France, and the UCL as well. Joint top goal scorer.
You're giving us reasons why he should be in the top.
Yeah, but the thing is, like Ligue 1, like in France, in France, no, but like let's be honest here. Like I'm not saying it's a shit league or whatever, but let's be honest here. In Ligue 1, the main team that probably is favorite to win everything is PSG, bro. Like no one else can really compare to. You have an odd team here and there. Like it's not a big achievement to me if he's top goal scorer in Ligue 1 because I just figure that it should be him when he's playing for PSG in Ligue 1 in the most stacked team probably. Same for the Coupe de France, same for the French Super Cup. UCL top goal scorer, great, but again in the UCL as well in the knockout game, he was joint, yeah, with I think it was Kane as well. But joint top goal scorer. But like I said, like even in the knockout rounds, I don't think he had a great knockout rounds. Like even against Barcelona as well, he wasn't that good. Dembele was better up until the red card, bro, and then after that a penalty or whatnot. You know, like it's a different story. But that's why I personally didn't have him in my top 10. But like I said, he was 10 and 11 for me. So he was literally next one after Foden. But yeah.
Wild. I think Mbappe has been so consistently good. The way he performed in the Euros after like the World Cup that he had, winning the Golden Boot there. And then it was pretty miserable. Given the team that he had and everything. And I'm just kind of like, bro, like, I don't know. Mbappe has to always be up there, at least like top 10 for sure. I do agree, like Liga, I would be the first to say that I don't think it's very competitive, especially with the way PSG is. You know, don't tell any Ligue 1 fans. I mean, what am I talking about there right here? But yeah, like it's just like Mbappe. It's kind of hard to say like to not put him in there. So I don't know. It's hard to argue.
No, yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
Mbappe was 7th. Now 6th, we have Toni Kroos. In terms of where we placed Toni Kroos, let us take a look here. So I had Toni Kroos at 6th. Amirali had him at 6th. Parham did not have Toni Kroos.
At all?
At all.
Yeah.
Sultan had him at 5th. I can start off with Toni Kroos. Honestly, like if we're talking about stats, deep lying midfielder, so he's not going to have the sickest stats. He had 1 goal, 10 assists with Madrid with what I have here. I just think he was very pivotal to both Madrid and Germany.
Yeah.
I think he had a decent Euro competition as well. So like he might not have the numbers to back it up, but I just think that I don't know if Madrid would do what they did last season without Toni Kroos, and I think they're gonna miss him a lot this year that he left.
He is the oldest guy on my list. He's 34, so the fact that he's kind of with these guys and competing with them, with not much assists or goals to back it up. Like you said, he's a midfielder, but he was very pivotal for Real Madrid, and then he unretired to come back to Germany, and he started games for them. So
Look, I feel like Cruz, like I understand, is he still playing like club
he's
football?
retired.
No,
He's
he's
done.
done completely, right? Okay, so
He's
like
done.
that's
So
the thing. Nostalgia
He's done so, yeah.
factor is kind of what I feel like a lot of people are using this because like
he's a
yeah, he's
Barca fan. I'm a
retiring.
United fan. What nostalgia? We don't have nostalgia.
No, but like he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the greatest players of all time, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like put in the work for that. So like, I get that, and yeah, his numbers don't dictate how good he is. But I remember that knockout game, like when they got knocked out in the Euros, and like, bro, he should have gotten sent off. Like he was not that good, in my opinion, dude. It was just not like it was not
Don't remind
good,
me, bro.
and they didn't send him off because he's retiring because they know it's his last game. It's in Germany. I feel like there's nostalgia that's sort of helping him get up in the ranks, but like I'm not buying it, so that's my deal.
Fair. Fifth, we have Lautaro Martinez with 24 points. Sultan had Lautaro in as, oh damn, he had him low. He had him at, he had him
Now
at
we know where you
seventh.
got the points from.
He had him at 7th. Parham had him at 5th. Amirali also had him at 5th. And then I had him I had him at 3rd.
Okay,
actually. Yeah.
fair. League, he won the Copa America, had the most goals, I believe, in the competition, scored the winning goal in the final. He's won the Super Copa. He won the Serie A. Top goal scorer in both competitions, specifically for Serie A and the Copa America. Performing consistently. I don't see how he can't be up there, given the league that he's competing in and everything, and what he did in terms of winning the Copa America has to put him up there as well. Yeah, that's my general argument there. I don't think there's much more than that for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underrate Lautaro as well. He had a great season. He was probably one of the best strikers in the world. I think like he had, with what I see here, 27 goals and 7 assists with Inter alone in all comps, I believe. And then I think he had like 5 goal involvements or 5 goals in Copa America. I'm not too sure. So that's roughly 40 goals and assists this season. Like I said, top goal scorer in Serie A, top goal scorer in Copa America. He scored the goal in extra time as well, so it was like a big goal. I think he's underrated. I think kind of like him and Verts, just because they don't play in, let's say, the biggest leagues and the biggest teams, underrated. But yeah, I had him 3rd just because like he was crucial and he did win both internationally and club-wise as well. So
I had him top 5, and you're right. He had 43 goals and assists, all comps. I didn't watch a lot of Lautaro, but the few Copa America games I watched, every time he came on, this guy like scored. It's like first game, second game, third game. So it became inevitable, In the final, he came on. I'm like, he's probably gonna score, isn't he? And then he scored second half of extra time, was it? Yeah, he's definitely in my top 5.
Alrighty. 4th, we have, with 25 points, we have Dani Carvajal. Okay? Let's take a look at where we placed him. I'll start off with our Madrid brother. He had Dani Carvajal at 4th. Parham had Dani Carvajal.
Don't tell me he's not there.
No, he had Dani Carvajal at 9th.
Brother.
Amirali had Dani Carvajal as 4th. And I actually had Dani Carvajal as 2nd.
Wow.
Okay. Like I said, bro, like consistency is key to me. So club and country. When you take a look at my list and the way that I've placed them, it's about being consistent throughout the whole season for me. He had 6 goals, 5 assists with Madrid alone this season. All right. He won the Euros. He was pivotal in the Euros. That tackle that he did on Musiala as well, that brother is a genius. He knew that he was missing the game regardless, the next one, because of yellows. He's like, yo, F it, I'm going to get a red.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so he did that, right? And then, honestly, I think he was the best right back throughout the season. This is coming from Barca, man. So I think he was amazing, especially there were a lot of fans that, because of last season, he didn't have the best season. They were like, this guy's washed, right? So to come back 30 whatever years old he is and do that. In the UCL, he was great as well. He scored the opening goal in the final with a header as well. Carvajal, big ups, man. He literally won everything possible almost. Like he won with club, country, and played great with them as well. It's very rare to have a right back achieve what he did this year.
Yeah, no, I had him 4th. He's 32, 7 goals, 8 assists, 21 clean sheets. We all know what he won. Euros, La Liga, Champions League, Super Cup. all that stuff. He scored in the final. He scored for Spain too, I think, in the opener game. I think so. He's a defender. I think he's the only defender, yeah, in my list. I think in all of you guys' list.
Parham,
Yes.
you got him 9.
Okay,
Why?
so yeah, like I understand he won pretty much everything that there is to win. Pivotal moments, like obviously, like you mentioned, scoring the goal to win the Champions League, the tackle on Musiala, like just putting in pivotal plays to get them through to like winning. But this is the Ballon d'Or that we're talking about, and one stat that y'all should know is that no fullback has ever won the Ballon d'Or ever. So it's unfortunate.
We're here to change that.
It's unfortunate, but he's not going to win it. But he is on the greatest team in the world. Like he's not going to win all of those things without all the players that are there too. Like if you put Danny Carvajal like on another team, like not Real Madrid, I guarantee you, like you wouldn't be having this conversation.
Sorry to counter that, greatest team in the world, but that's because of him too, right? Like, gotta give him some credit.
It's not because of him, bro. It's not. You can't
He
say
contribute.
Carvajal is the reason that they're the best.
Not the
in
reason,
world.
but
I mean, like I said, I think he was the best right back this season.
Surely
that doesn't
the best
necessarily
right
mean.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't
we're
necessarily
talking about
mean.
the season. Yeah, that's what important
Yeah,
thing to
right.
remember. Like,
Still,
is he the
I don't
best
know,
right back ever? No.
Because
But-
all the Real Madrid players won everything. They all won everything. Yes. You know what I mean? And like if we're
Not
talking
all of
about
them. No. Not
What do
all
you
of them.
mean?
He won the Euros as well.
Sure. That is Spanish on the Real Madrid team. Okay, sure. We can say that. But like virtually almost everything that they could have won on club level. And like
Yeah.
you know, so it's like that argument can be said for any Real Madrid player. And you could argue that a lot of the Real Madrid players did contribute a lot. I'm sure when we go through the rest of this list, we will talk more about some more Real Madrid players. So I just think that, you know, I put him up here. He's on number 9. I do think he deserves to have like a spot, but he second or like high, like top 5. I can't. No, that's too much.
That's crazy.
Second,
I'm,
I agree with a little. But,
I'm looking at his list right now, and I see an attacking bias. I can't lie.
That's the Ballon d'Or.
Carvajal's
mean,
9.
Ballon d'Or is won by attacking.
And then he did. And then he didn't have Kroos at all. I'm seeing some attacking bias. I can't lie.
It's always attackers that like usually win. I mean, yes, there has been like cases where that's not the
That's
case.
true.
But it's usually favored that way.
Carvajal was 4th. Now we are entering the podium, boys. All right. So 3rd, with 33 points, Jude Bellingham. I will let you know where we all had Bellingham. All right. So
Do you have him in your list?
I had him in my list, but I'll let mine for last. But okay, so Sultan had him at 2nd. Parham had him at 1st. Amirali had him at 3rd, and then I had him at 5th.
Wow, that's why.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say 9th or something.
No, bro.
I'll start it off. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, okay. Maybe I have a little bias. I am an England fan too, so you know, I do think that I'm gonna put him over like some of the other players and stuff. But we talk about Jude, how he's a PR merchant, this and that, and he did have a great storyline. You know, coming from Dortmund, going to Real Madrid, being an English player, adapting to the pressures of being on a Real Madrid team, wearing the number 5 of Zidane, like just taking on this huge pressure and like performing to the way that he did, playing in multiple various positions, doing everything that you need to do, playing basically center forward. 19 goals, 6 assists during the league, 2 goals and 1 assist during the Euros, 4 goals and 5 assists during the UCL. He was just pivotal in every single team and competition that he was in. Obviously, he didn't make it to the finish line when it came to the Euros and underperformed, frankly, when it came to the final. And had he won that, I think he would have been the undisputed winner. With that being said, just the storyline and everything, I do think has a big factor when it comes to the Ballon d'Or. And I think a lot of people have enjoyed his story. It's been controversial, like not controversial as in he's done anything bad, but like a lot of people would argue otherwise. But nonetheless, he is probably the most talked about player. He's performed exceptionally well, and he'd be the best player in my books for this year.
A lot of people think that I have a hate bias towards Jude. I do not hate Jude. I do think that he is overhyped. But I don't hate him by any means necessary. I think he's a very good player. Like I said, consistency. I feel like a lot of people would agree. Up until 2024, so the first half of the season, he was exceptional. He was scoring, assisting. It was insane. The only thing is, I mentioned it back then in the chat as well. I said he's not going to be able to keep this up. Even if you looked at it statistically, he was outperforming his XG by insane amounts. So I kept on saying, like, all right, he's doing this, but it won't happen throughout the whole season. And then second half of the season, he had a big drop off. I don't know the exact numbers. I think he had could be 8 goals or something like that. 8 goals and assists with Madrid in the second half of the season, I think. So compared to the first, there was a big drop off. And then with England as well, bro, let's be honest here. Even the English fans at the end, they were like, this brother hasn't done anything, right? So he had that clutch moment against Slovakia, Slovenia, one or the other, I can't remember. It was a great goal, but overall in the Euros as well, I felt like he was very disappointing. He wasn't even their best midfielder. Their best midfielder was an 18-year-old from Man United, most likely. So that's what I said. I can't, consistency-wise, with England, he didn't do much. And then second half of the season with Madrid, he did win them the La Liga overall because of his goal contributions. But like I said, that's mainly because he had an insane first half season. In the UCL as well, he did not perform well after the quarterfinals. I think his last proper game was against Leipzig, against Bayern, against City. And then did they play Bayern as well?
They play Bayern.
Yeah, they play Bayern. Yeah, he had stinkers. Against Dortmund as well, he didn't have a good game. He got an assist because of Maatsen literally giving him the ball, and then he just passed a pass that even Stevie Wonder can give that pass, bro. I'll be honest with you. This is not hate, but it was literally a straight through pass from a mistake from Maatsen. That's why I had him at 5th, and I know I'm going to get bashed by a lot of people, but yeah.
I'm not going to hate, but I'm going to hate. That's what I got from this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had him at 3rd. I think 3rd is a balance in terms of where he should be.
Literally down the middle, yeah.
I agree that he didn't have a good second half of the season, as Gen said, So, I mean, he wasn't as consistent in the second half of the season. But, it's his first season. He performed the way he did. Assists in the Champions League final, in the Euro final. I don't think he should win it. He makes my top 3. Just looking at everyone else, I think he makes my top 3.
We are entering 2nd and 1st. You guys want... I'll just say the winner, okay? And then you guys can guess who the second is. The difference in points between 1 and 2 for us was literally 1 point. The overall winner for our top 10 Ballon d'Or is Rodri. Second, as you can guess, is Vinny. Rodri finished with 36 points and Vinny 35 points. So it was very close, all right? Now, I will let you know, first off, where we had Vinny, all right? So Sultan had Vinny as number 1. Parham had Vinny as number 3. Amirali had Vinny
number 1.
as number 1. And then I had Vinny at number 4. Now, before I get any hate, even if I had Vinny 1 above, so let's say I had him in my top 3, it would still be joint tied, all right? So I had him 4th. A lot of people are going to say, why the hell did you have him 4th? Same thing as with Jude. Actually, contrary to Jude, I think Vinny didn't start the season off too good. And then he came in the most crucial times and he was clutch. For Madrid in the UCL, he was very, very clutch. Now, on the other hand, he didn't have a good Copa America. All right? On Twitter, even the Brazilian fans, a lot of them were like, yo, this is why Dinho said we're shit. This is why we need Neymar back. And he also got a red card as well, which was honestly inexcusable because it was so stupid. And that probably cost them potentially against Colombia as well when they got eliminated. So Vinny, 4th.
I mean, Sultan could probably speak more to that as a Madrid fan, but I still think, without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to win it. I put him above Rodri. I mean, that's a tough one. Rodri had a crazy season with what he won and what he did, goals, assists, everything. But for me, Vinny was that clutch player. Consistency-wise, for Madrid, he was consistent throughout the season. I don't think
he was injured for 2 or 3 months in the beginning, so that's why.
He was injured, but when he was available, I think
Yeah.
he was consistent. I think he showed up every time I watched this guy. He was kind of inevitable. I just feel like he's going to win it, but I want him to win it too. I know what he's missing is that international tournament. He didn't have, if he did better with Brazil.
Vinny had a very, like you said, clutch run when it came to the end of the season. But when it came to Copa, having just 2 goals, not making it to the finals at the very least compared to some of the other players that we're discussing. Yeah, had that been better, he would have probably taken number 1 in my opinion.
So Rodri, 36 points like we said. I had him at 1st. Amirali had him at 2nd. Parham had him at 2nd. And then Sultan obviously had him at third.
Obviously.
So
What do you mean, obviously?
I don't
Yeah.
even know what we can say about Rodri, bro. Like he's Mr. Consistency. I can't.
I think we all agree on the points.
He's the best midfielder in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think this year he elevated his game even more. Like he was getting some sick numbers. The Euros player of the tournament. He won the EPL with them. City had 3 losses all season, and it was literally without him. I just think he was the most consistent player throughout the whole season.
Yeah, the guy's been crazy important to his team. He had more the assists I have on the screen. Yeah, he had more assists all season than Vinny. So as a defensive midfield, he had a lot of goal contribution. That's why he's so high up, I guess, in everybody's list or being number one in some of yours. It's because of his goal. He hasn't just done 1 goal, 2 goals, or whatever. He's got scoring goals and he's doing.
Yeah, he scores. He's very complete, bro. Like he'll score bangers as well.
I can't argue with what he's done this season, his stats, what he's won. Consistency too. That's obviously, we all agree, that's one of the key parameters to winning the Ballon d'Or. So, but I had him as 2.
You have anything to add about the City boy?
mean, honestly, the biggest thing about Rodri is just like how different City is without him than when they are with him. 31 games unbeaten in all competitions. I remember that was near the end of the season, so during like the latter part of the season where it's the toughest. That was with Man City, but with Rodri specifically having 74 games, going 475 days unbeaten just by playing on the team is insane. Winning the Premier League and everything, but like just knowing that like how important he is, winning the Euros as well was huge as well. So having both of those, like an international trophy as well as like a domestic trophy, and just like making what Man City is today, like without him, like they really aren't the same. Yeah, man, that takes the cake for me.
Perfect.
That's our
Alrighty.
list.
There you go. Yeah, so that is our top 10 Ballon d'Or rankings. Like I said, it is a combination of all 4 of us together.
Quick question, like forgetting, like I know Ballon d'Or is obviously like the season, right? It looks at what the season. Who do you guys think is the best player on the list we have? Forget like the season they had. Who is the best player?
And like technical, like
Rodri.
skill wise.
I mean, whatever parameters that you think a player needs to have to be the best player.
I would say Rodri. Personally, I can't lie.
I'd say
like
probably
forgetting
Rodri.
the season they had. I mean, I was gonna say Mbappe. I mean, I
yeah. I was just gonna say, when you say like a question like that, I'm just thinking of who can do like everything, and like Rodri can do everything, and like I don't know. You could even I would argue Jude as well, maybe. But like I think Rodri has just had a longer tenure and has been doing it longer, and is just a proven winner. That I'd have to put him, on top there.
Like I said, 3 games, 3 L's without him. So, like he's complete, bro. You could arguably say that he is the system for City. Like I think he's a complete midfielder, especially after this year. Like I said, now he's scoring bangers, assisting, bro. Like there's nothing this man can't do. So I would say probably Rodri.
Sure.
Lamine, maybe in a couple of years because he's young, but Rodri for now, in my opinion. Anyways, there you have it, boys. That is our top 10. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if there was any bias in them. Obviously, feel free to leave any comments or anything like that. But that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you on the next episode, I guess.
Take care, y'all.